I'm Rebecca.
Standing in the middle of my wedding reception, I glance at the spreadsheet beside our wedding album. It's a record of the financial history between my family and me. A record, not a weapon. The sight of it takes me back to that fateful Christmas dinner, a turning point that changed everything. My family is from a well-to-do neighborhood in Seattle. My father, Henry, used to be a successful architect, but he gradually became passive and dependent on my mother's decisions. My mother, Victoria, is a controlling and manipulative woman. She always believes that she knows what's best for the family and isn't afraid to impose her will on others. My older brother, Alexander, is a high-flying lawyer, and my sister, Isabella, works in a luxury fashion brand. They both tend to side with my mother, often at my expense. I remember driving up to my parents' house on that snowy December day. The house, a large Victorian mansion, looked picture perfect in the snow, but inside, it was a different story. I was nervous yet determined to tell them about my promotion to creative director at a well-known advertising agency. I also had Daniel's ring in my purse, a symbol of our future together, bought on an installment plan because my savings were always being siphoned off by my family. As I walked into the house, my father greeted me with a distracted smile, his attention already on whatever drama my mother was creating in the kitchen. My mother, on the other hand, immediately criticized my dress, saying it made me look pale. It was a familiar sting, one I'd endured for years. At the dinner table, my family members boasted about their achievements. Alexander talked about a big case he'd won, and Isabella showed off her latest designer handbag and a recent promotion. I placed a handmade photo album I'd spent hours on the coffee table, but my mother barely glanced at it before pushing it aside for Alexander's legal journal. When I finally announced my engagement to Daniel, the silence was deafening. My mother's cold words cut through me like a knife. "I suppose someone had to take you. You're the biggest disappointment in this family." But this time, instead of the usual tears and the urge to run away, a strange calm came over me. I picked up my phone and opened my banking app. I started scrolling through the transactions, showing them all the money I'd given them over the years. December 5th, $1,200 for my mother's spa membership. November 20th, $3,000 for my father's golf club fees. October 10th, $2,500 for Isabella's shopping spree. I detailed how my hard-earned money had been used to support their lifestyles while I struggled to make ends meet. My mother tried to defend herself, saying that families help each other. But I knew it was exploitation. I told her that love doesn't mean sacrificing my own well-being. I reminded her that every time I saved up for something important, like a new lease or a course for my career, they'd come up with an emergency and taken my money. My mother was furious. She slammed her hand on the table and accused me of airing family secrets. But I stood my ground. I realized that my worth had never been recognized by them, and it never would be if I continued to let them take advantage of me. I announced that the Bank of Rebecca was officially closed. After that Christmas dinner, the fallout was intense. My mother sent an email to our extended family, friends, and even some of Alexander's colleagues, calling me selfish and a betrayer of family values. Isabella and Alexander also called to scold me, saying I was being unreasonable. But I didn't back down. I started documenting all our family interactions, creating a journal and an email folder labeled Family Boundaries. I also declined an invitation to a cousin's wedding, a small but powerful act of standing up for myself. When it came to my engagement party, my mother and Isabella showed up uninvited. They tried to create a scene, saying that families should be at such important events. But I was ready. I calmly told them that if they wanted to be part of my life, they had to respect my boundaries. Alexander, however, had a change of heart. After seeing the spreadsheet, he came to me and apologized. He gave me a check for the money I'd paid towards his student loans, plus interest, and said he'd take over my father's medical bills. It was a small step towards healing our relationship. Our wedding planning faced some setbacks. 3 photographers suddenly canceled, and our original venue had a plumbing issue and had to cancel our event. I suspected my mother was behind it, but I refused to let her win. With the help of my friends and colleagues, we found a new venue, a beautiful vineyard outside the city. On the wedding day, my father walked me down the aisle. His new job as an architect had given him back his confidence and color. My grandmother, Amelia, sat in the front row, taking the place usually reserved for the mother of the bride. My mother and Isabella sat a few rows back, looking subdued. During the reception, I placed my career award on a table and the spreadsheet beside it. It was a statement of my journey and my found strength. My father told me during the father-daughter dance that he was proud of me. My mother, when I spoke to her alone, finally seemed to understand. She said, "I was wrong about you," the closest thing to an apology I'd ever get from her. Isabella also apologized during our sister dance. Now, as I look around at my wedding reception, I see a new beginning. The old family hierarchy has crumbled, and in its place, there's a chance for real relationships based on love and respect. I've learned that my life is measured by joy, not by how useful I can be to others. The Bank of Rebecca is closed, and I'm ready to embrace a future filled with my own dreams and happiness.